you guys. Do I need to rotate my device again? I can't figure out why sometimes this phone wants me to be this way and other times the other way. Anyway, I hope this works okay. Anyway, now I have to figure out where to look. Okay, anyway, guys, welcome to another Facebook Live. If my phone is rotated the wrong way, somebody please let me know. It's a little hinky these days. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. First of all, hello, Troy Parker. Hello, Mike. I know you're kind too. Oh, Troy, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're so cute. You make me laugh. Anyway, I can't even talk to you guys right now because guess what? Here's what happened today. And don't worry, we're going to get to some good stuff. Okay, I am going to talk about acting, but Amos Sedaris, who is one of my heroes, liked the comment that I made on her Instagram post. Yes, she did. So anyway, like that's just going to keep me high all day because I love her so much and I do think she's a genius, and also has a pet rabbit. So, she's kind of like, we're like besties now. So yeah, that's just how it is. So anyway, while we're waiting to hop on, of course, I will talk about the things that I talk about. My hair is also doing something weird. I don't know what to tell you guys. Icepocalypse and now this. It's one trauma after another. Anyway, okay, hi, welcome. Of course, I'm always here to answer all your questions. And also, I forgot to do not disturb on my phone, so I have my nutrition app popping up and telling me to log lunch, which I haven't had yet. So that's beside the point. Anyway, so today, while we're waiting for people to join and for me to answer questions that you might have about the craft and the art of acting, I want to talk to you about something that we really dove deep into last night in the Tuesday night weekly class, and that is getting down to a character's need. Because here is what happens. I think I just saw Amanda pop on. Hi, Amanda. Amanda was a witness. She was in the class. She knows what I'm about to talk about, probably. Anyway, what happens a lot of times when we're trying to get down to like what a character is trying to get from another character in a scene, we fall back on, hey, Amanda, yay! I loved the email that you sent to everyone. That was awesome. What we fall into is we start to do sort of a psychological analysis of the character. Now, if you want to do that for backstory, like, character history, they had a fraught relationship with their father, and so they're whatever, blah, blah, blah. Troy is being funny while I'm trying to talk. Anyway, but here's the thing, a psychological profile can be an interesting, academic exercise, but in the moment of like actually doing the scene, it's just not really constructive or helpful. So what we want to look at is what really primal basic human need is your character trying to satisfy, and how are they going about trying to get it, okay? And the truth is we all want to act like we're so evolved and so self-actualized that we know these really sophisticated ways of trying to get our needs met, but a lot of times we're not, and a lot of times our characters aren't, right? And so kind of what we were talking about last night, thank you, Amanda. Good. I'm glad this is helpful for you, or hopefully it will be helpful. No, we're just going to say it's going to be helpful. I'm going to be optimistic. Here's the thing. If you were in Texas last week, you saw your higher self stripped away pretty quickly if you lost your power, if you lost your heat, if you didn't have light in your house, if you didn't have water in your house, or if you had water in your house but it was contaminated. All of these things happened in Texas last week. And so I know for myself and for a lot of people who went through this, your needs get real basic real quick. Right, they're basically, you go into survival mode, right? Am I warm enough so that I'm not going to get hypothermia? Do I have power to boil my water? Do I have enough water that's not contaminated so that I don't, get sick, et cetera, et cetera. And so really fundamentally, even though our means of communication communication and thinking and problem solving have gotten more sophisticated, our basic needs have not. We have some really primal basic needs for food and water and shelter and security and inclusion and community, belonging. If you're a fan of Brene Brown, and if you're an actor, you absolutely should be, our need for connection. And so basically, the way I was explaining it in class last night is, if you're not included in some way, your primal mind goes back to like caveman times, basically. And so you're a Neanderthal or Neanderthal, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And you're worried that if you don't get along, you're going to get kicked out of the cave. And if you get kicked out of the cave, you're not going to have fire, and the saber-toothed tigers are going to come for you, right? So basically, your survival depends on being able to stay within a group, okay? So when we think about like wanting to be in the cool clique in high school, or wanting, to get so many likes on Facebook or whatever, honestly, in my humble opinion, and I was going to be an anthropologist in the 2nd grade, to me, that is just a bid for that inclusion in a group so that you will stay safe from whatever is out there threatening you, okay? So when we get in a scene with another person, and in particular the scene we worked on last night was a scene involving a husband and wife, when you're in a relationship of that level of commitment and intimacy, you are trying to get some real basic needs met, right? Hopefully that's why you married that person, right? And so we can have all this psychology, like, oh, we've grown apart, or he doesn't listen to me, or she doesn't want to be intimate as much as I do. I don't know if there are kids watching or kids that will watch, so I'm going to try to keep it PG. Those are all certainly legitimate things that you might experience in any sort of relationship, but in particular in a marriage. But again, it really primally goes back to that need to be included in the group so that you're safe, okay? So as you're looking at your character work over the next week and over the rest of your life, try to figure out a way to get as basic as possible. What fundamentally do you need here? And you may have very sophisticated ways of going about it, or you may have very superficial ways of going about it. Even when we gossip, somebody brought up gossip last night. And, the truth is, gossip is just another way to feel included. It's another way to connect. It's not, necessarily a sophisticated or high way, meaning a high level way of getting a need met. But it is a way to get a need met. And, traditionally, especially with women, we might be gathered around the well, and gossiping was a way to, exchange information that actually was legitimately helpful for our survival, right? So you're trying to get your tribe to survive, you're trying to get your family to survive. So, even gossip is a way to get information. Now, sometimes gossip is just mean, or it's just tacky, and you're just kind of talking behind somebody's back, and that's not great. But again, the underlying need there is, I'm trying to connect, I'm trying to be included, I'm trying to make sure that my standing stays secure in this community or in this relationship, so that I don't get kicked out of the cave and left to the saber-toothed tigers. That's me being a saber-toothed tiger. Okay, great. So that's what I got for you today, but I would love any questions you may have, or if there's anything you want me to explain further. But of course, if there isn't, as always, I will not keep you, because I believe that time is our most valuable and non-renewable resource. And I say that almost every darn week, because I firmly believe that it's true. So I'm not a fan of just talking just to hear myself talk. So if you've got no questions, Mike Fleming either has a question or a comment. I'm going to read it now. When we are down or frustrated in regular life too, it helps to identify what's wrong or what basic need isn't met in this same way. Praise! He's getting full praise arms, not just praise hands or praise fingers. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Years ago, I read a book called The Right Words at the Right Time, and there was an essay by Gwyneth Paltrow, and she said she was on a trip with a girlfriend and she kept complaining about her boyfriend, and she just finally, her friend said, it sounds like you're not getting your needs met. And so, that's another thing to take into consideration. Thank you, Joe. That's another thing to take into consideration is even, Mike, you're absolutely right. In your real life, if you're feeling angry or depressed or unsatisfied, look at what need is not getting met, and can I get it met in some other way? Sometimes we do that in relationships, right? We have a high expectation of a friendship or a romantic relationship or a familial relationship. Like, your job is to give me this. Your job is to meet this need for me. And sometimes we just have to say, well, what is the need? Can I get it met elsewhere, right? And obviously, we don't stay in relationship for an extended amount of time typically if we're not getting any needs met, because otherwise, like, what's the point? That's why we are in relationship. So anyway, you didn't know you were going to get a little dish of anthropological history and psychology today. Maybe a little counseling, but you're done. You're done. So anyway, if you have no other questions, I certainly won't keep you. I feel like this was pretty juicy for today, though. Yes, Carlos says we always look for comfort and avoid pain. That is the truth, and Tony Robbins, of all people, would agree with you. So absolutely. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to do my little sort of, sign off, and then if anyone hops on with a question, I'll certainly answer it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this white sky day if you're in Houston, Texas. Hello, Ananka. So basically, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd recommend it, because on the regular, I send out videos with just tips and tricks and helpful information on the business and craft of acting. I'm sending out one this week on virtual auditioning, which is basically what's happening from now on. We need a jingle before you leave. Okay, Carlos, I'm going to come up with a jingle just for you. I actually am a big fan of improvisational singing, so I like to come up with jingles on a regular basis. Also, if you are not already subscribed to my email list, I would suggest you do that. You can go on my website, www.sarahgaston.com, no H, sign up for my email list. There are things I share on my email that I don't share anywhere else. And you can also check out my website if you're interested in classes or workshops. I have some online courses that are now available, or if you want to train with me one-on-one, or if you need taping for auditions, I'm available to do all that to support you in your acting journey. An acting jingle. Sarah Gaston signing off. I gotta go pet a bunny. Sometimes I make up these songs and they're great. Sometimes they're not so funny. It's harder when you're put on the spot. Okay, love you guys. Stay safe. Hope you have hot running water soon if you are in Texas. Love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Mwah! Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.